feel like there's still more to be talked about first with Todd Blanche and Lindsey Halligan and Pam Bondi and, as the Daily Beast calls him, Keystone Cash.
Yeah, no. I mean, what we've seen simultaneously with peace in Israel is, and Trump in his campaign for the Nobel Peace Prize, is Trump at home ordering the prosecution, also quite literally, of his enemies. So his intention very clearly is to put his political opponents in jail. That is, in I think any version of politics, autocratic, despotic, really nasty behavior.
Yeah, no, and completely wrong for the United States of America. But he also comes back to warring factions within his own cabinet, right? So, which has been playing out in the press over the last few days.
In the Justice Department, very much.
In the Justice Department and against the FBI.
The FBI is part of the Justice Department.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, I mean, he has brushed aside. I mean, clearly there are voices, the senior-most voices in the Justice Department. I mean, actually, anybody with a rational brain in their head is saying this is not a good idea. This is not a good idea, just because it's not a good idea to openly be prosecuting your enemies. But on top of that, these are cases that we're not going to win.
Right.
So,
and they're going to go before a jury, right?
Well, they would have if they get that far, and they won't even get that far. I mean, this is just going to lead to the specific embarrassment of the Justice Department. So, I mean, so they're all Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, who are kind of saying, "Oh my God, this is on our watch. We're gonna do this." So they're trying to, in every way possible, as they say in Trump circles or people around him, slow walk this.
Right, because then he loses interest and moves on to something else.
Right.
Except that he sent out what he thought was, I think, a personal memo to Pam saying, come on, get on with it. This is outrageous. But it went out as a truth social.
Right. And so in order to do this, I mean, essentially, let's understand what he's doing. The President of the United States is ordering the specific prosecution of specific people. Mm-hmm. That's not supposed to happen in any interpretation of due process. That's not supposed to happen, but that is happening. And in order to make it happen, I mean, he couldn't. The designated chiefs in the Justice Department, essentially, well, they were slow. This wasn't going to happen, so he pushed them aside. He fired the U.S. attorney himself personally, fired the U.S. attorney in Virginia, and he installed a person by the name of Lindsey Halligan,
who has zero prosecutorial experience.
No,
zero.
As one of a person in the close Trump circle said to me, Lindsey, oh my God, Halligan. And this is someone. Lindsey Halligan was a person. She does have a law degree, and she's from Palm Beach, and she at some point joined the campaign. And on the campaign, it was Lindsey Halligan, Natalie Harp, Alina Habba, and then Trump used to refer to them as my Charlie's Angels. And that was literally their job, is to be the girls around Trump.
And to sort of protect him, right? Isn't that what Charlie's Angels did?
Well, I don't. I think
I can't remember. I just remember Farrah Fawcett's hair, but they all
yes.
have that hair.
Yeah, no, I think that was
before,
it. He was just there was no function here. Actually, quite the opposite.
Okay.
They didn't do anything. They were at least Halligan and Haber were lawyers, but they didn't really practice. Their legal responsibilities were limited, except when other lawyers wouldn't do what he wanted. Then he would just tell them what to do, and they would do it, sort of.
And Lindsey Halligan is important in this because Virginia is the state where so many of these kind of important cases, government cases, come up.
Well, it's just a federal district which encompasses Washington.
Right.
So so he put her in and said you have to indict James Comey and you have to indict Letitia James, which has been done. And
it
then
looks like they're coming for John Bolton, too.
John Bolton, Adam Schiff, Lisa Cook, Jack Smith, and Chris Christie, his old friend from New Jersey. And they were once very, very good friends. But anyway, Chris Christie is now on the list. And, of course, he would love to and sometimes talks about indicting Barack and Michelle Obama and, of course, Joe Biden.
And Hillary, Crooked Hillary, who got a shout-out in his speech in Egypt.
No, Crooked Hillary, of course.
I mean, you can see why people don't even want to be in the room with him, because at some point, even if you've been a fervent supporter, his finger may point at you. I mean, Chris Christie at one point couldn't do enough for him.
Yeah, remember that moment when Chris Christie was always in the picture with him, kind of stroking. Oh, it's horrible.
And Trump senses it, and senses the weakness. I think. I mean, it was also sort of crazy the way he went after John Bolton and said that ridiculous moustache that he's got.
Well, that obsessed him. He didn't. I mean, John Bolton was not hired on several occasions because of the mustache, and then everyone else had been hired and fired, so they finally got to the mustache, which is what he said. Yeah, okay, hire the mustache.
Hire the mustache. Well, he's getting his back on the mustache now, but it's highly unlikely that any of these people will actually end up in jail, isn't it? Which is what Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche know.
We say this at this point, but it was highly unlikely not that long ago that any of these people would actually be indicted. I mean, we would have said that they won't actually be indicted.
But they've still, in theory, got to get through a jury.
In theory. I mean, this is, I mean, this is what happens in, yes, let's not go down this hole at this moment because it is inconceivable. But the inconceivable is the times we live in.
Right, so the autocracy is creeping in terms of things like this, yet there is still, we should celebrate the freedom to say that the president on his copy of Time has a neck vagina on X, which is seen by millions of people. So it's a strange dual headfuck, I think is what I'm trying to say, which brings me nicely to Melania. Why are we suddenly seeing? Okay, that's all right. Why are we suddenly seeing Melania? She hasn't been anywhere near him, and suddenly she's reappearing. So she was at the Windsor Castle dinner, where we never discussed the reports that Donald Trump left his bedroom that he was staying in, and we did say that they had separate suites, and they'd specifically asked for separate suites. We didn't mention the fact that there were reports that he had left his suite in a terrible state, and that there were sort of fake tan stains on the sheets.
mean he was he was not personally in a terrible state. The room
the room was state. It was a bit like going into a room after the Rolling Stones had been staying in it.
Yeah, no, I have actually had a lot of descriptions of the way he leaves hotel rooms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, during the campaign, when they did have to stay, I mean, he doesn't like to stay in hotel rooms, but when he had to, there was always a kind of post-occupation description. And the thing that I remember most, there are a lot of things. First thing, he just drops things on the floor. So there's no, papers. Whenever he reads a paper or looks at a paper, because he doesn't really read, he rips it and then drops it on the floor. But the other thing is it's also accompanied by candy wrappers.
Candy
Tons
wrappers.
Of candy
Is that
wrappers.
because he takes Ambien? I mean, I remember when I was in the fashion business and we would fly overnight for the shows in Milan or Paris, and a lot of people would take Ambien. And if they had, even if they didn't have issues, one of the side effects is you raid the minibar, and models and fashion editors would wake up with competing stories of finding themselves smeared in a Snickers bar with a wrapper sticking out of their eyelashes, because that's one of the symptoms of Ambien. Because you're looking at me very doubtfully.
No, I have actually heard similar stories, and when a lot of hotels, they put the chocolate on the pillow, and then on Ambien, you don't really notice that, and then you wake up and
it's smeared all over you. I've never taken Ambien. I'm terrified of any kind of sleeping drug.
All over your sheets, even worse.
Anyway, he leaves his hotel rooms, but apparently he also left the Windsor Castle room in a mess. Okay, how did we get to there? Because Melania was on the visit, and she's been, we know that she wasn't visible, and as you've said, when she turns up at the White House, people treat her as if she's a guest.
This is easy, what Melania is doing. She is not, I heard somebody say, well, maybe there's a rapprochement. Yeah, I guess in some universe that might be possible, but not this universe. She has the Melania documentary is coming out in January
on Amazon.
She's on a promotion tour. She's beginning this. Listen, Melania is it's the Melania hustle.
Okay, so we haven't. I mean, the Melania hustle, is the documentary going to be shown in Russia? Because we now learn too. We haven't even. It's been such a busy week of everything coming at us. We haven't even gotten to the discovery that Melania has been speaking to Putin.
I'm not even going there on that one.
Why not? What's that mean?
What does that mean? I mean, what does it mean that she's speaking to Putin? The coming payoff is on this documentary, which she's already been paid $40 million for. She has a stake in the back end, I think a very large stake in the back end.
I think it's 70%, isn't it?